Hello, everybody. This is the third and final segment of the webinar entitled Ununited the Conversation. The first two segments went really good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that, and I'm sure you'll enjoy this one as well. If you haven't picked up your copy of Ununited, it is available online at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Amazon, all the usual places, Walmart, or you can just simply Google Ununited by Timothy Harvey. I want to thank you guys for all your love and support, and I appreciate you.
As far as
I
getting
think
the youth involved.
I think we all know the fix. I just think that the thing is like we can give solutions. You just gave one there. Lev just gave one. We got the solutions. It's about us employing those solutions, though. And okay, so I put something in perspective. I got this friend of mine. He's a retired sergeant major, and we all been around a couple guys that they still in the army, man. I mean, they've been out of the army for some time, but they still in
Yeah,
the
I know
army.
a few of them.
I mean, it's like they
Yeah, I
just
know a
don't.
few of them.
They don't get it. You know what I mean?
You know
They
what his
just
first name is? Sergeant Major.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So I'm like, I was having a discussion with him, and he was talking about all this stuff, and I said, man, we keep waiting on people in American. I'm saying Americans. We leave everything up to politicians. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff we can do in our own community. Like,
Yeah.
for example, if I ride through your neighborhood right now, I could pick out who in your neighborhood is a veteran, possibly a veteran or first responder, just by the sheer appearance of how the neighborhood look or how they residents look. You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
right.
like little small stuff like that. So you set the
Yeah.
tone, and then everybody in your neighborhood, they know you. And when they look at your house, they say, man, you have a nice house. But the first thing they know, because they know you, oh, they was in the military. But you didn't have to be in the military to keep your house looking nice. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we
Right.
got the answer. It's about how are you willing to buy into that structure? Because I think we the secret weapon. Veterans are the secret weapon to the country, man. And we can really be the one to save it, but we got to be heard. You know what I'm
All
saying?
veterans, too.
We all veterans. We got because we can show what democracy actually look like. We come from all demographics, all backgrounds. But when we get over there in that box over there, we do as one team. We do
You know
what
what
we
I
do.
think? I think one problem with us though is and I almost fell for this myself to where I'm comfortable and I've done what I need to do to make sure that my family is taken care of financially. And so it's so easy to say, you know what, I see all this stuff going on out there, all this political, backwardsness and all of this. It's so easy to say, I'm set. If they want to fight, let them handle it. Let them go ahead and get through it. My family's set. It don't matter who's the president. They can elect Osama bin Laden. I don't care. My family's gonna be taken care of. It's so easy to fall into that and just say, I'm not gonna get involved. I'm not gonna do anything. And I'm sure there's a lot of us, veterans and non-veterans, civilians, that think that way.
I think
we
the
just in
same
our
way.
little bubble, and if our bubble is all good, then everything is all good.
That's a good point, Lev.
That is a very good point. But the thing that scares me when you look long term like that, and they are saying we all pretty much same cloth there. But the difference is that I would say the only thing I would say with that is the generation below us, our kids and stuff, they don't know how to sustain it though.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't understand that, you work to get your family straight, but you're still working. Even if you retire, you still working with your contributions, your teachings, the way you live your life, being a responsible husband, father, steward of your community, you know what I'm saying? Good neighbor, conversation you have with your daughter and your son. See, you still giving that input in there. You got to sustain it. You know what I'm saying? And because young people, man, once they got it, they feel like they got it. That's a wrap. It's done, dog.
Yeah.
I did everything I needed to do. I don't need to do nothing else.
Hey, I tell this story all
I'll
the
give you a
time.
good example.
Sheldon, I'm gonna let you go, Sheldon. I'm gonna give you a good example, but you remember this right here. This is a true story. Me and Sheldon was giving a PT test in Fort Lee. I told a soldier, "Hey, take them coolers over there, and so these soldiers can have some cold water over there. Get some ice in them coolers over there, and bring them over here so they can have some cold water when they finish the thing." Well, he brought the cooler over there. The soldier went over there, stuck the thing on there. Didn't no water come out. Okay. And I was like, "Hey man, what's the water?" He said, "You didn't tell me that. You told me to put ice in the cooler." I said, but I told you that for drink. I said, I want the sodas to have cold water. Where do you think the water going to come from?
Man, you know coolers come with water in them. You know they make them coolers with ice water already in it now. Leave them
Well, I
soldiers
turned it to
alone.
the Tasmanian Devil. I turned it to the Tasmanian Devil, and I made water come from him. You know, after that, but it was all good. But go ahead, Sheldon.
No, you were saying young people, once they learn something, they just like, I'm done. You know, they want to sustain it. So I'm out here in the private sector now, and I get these guys. They get their license, their driver's license. I work for a roofing distributor, right? So we're in transportation and delivering stuff all the time. But anyway, you got guys that have been on the job, been driving for 10, 15. I have 17 years. You get a kid come in just got in CDL, basically just drove around in the parking lot, drove around the block a few times, went to the DMV, drove around the block a few times, did all their checks, and bam, got their license. Now somebody got to hire them, right? Sit down in my office. Now I negotiate your salary before you start, but then after they've been there for, I don't know, a month, just had one a month. Oh, they're paying such and such and such. They're paying. I got my license. I should be making. I said, okay, so you just got your license, and you think I should be paying you what I'm paying this guy that's been doing it for 15 years safely, effectively? That's the mentality right there.
It is.
I went to the school. I got it. Now give me all the money.
I should start right off at this pay
but
band.
that's the mentality.
Yeah, entitlement.
That's what it is.
Entitlement.
Yeah. So check it
entitlement.
out. So I have one final question that I want to ask you guys, and this. So my last question, I saved this one for last because I thought it was the most important one. It's kind of a two-part thing. First, did Ununited provide any clarity of awareness about the history of race relations and the impact it has on America? And then, in your own words, give a verbal review of Ununited in your own words on this webinar here. Your takeaways.
Rick, what was the first question again, Tim?
The first question was, did Ununited provide any clarity or awareness about the history of race relations and the impact it has had on America? And then the second part is, give your verbal review of Ununited.
I go first.
Uh-huh.
Me being a history guy, I was absolutely impressed by the way you not only talked about the history, but you actually provided the facts and went back and grabbed like history and to back up your statements. And so I commend you for that. It absolutely gave me more of an insight of race relations and the history of race relations and articles and the constitutions and all of those things that you went back and you spoke about. I enjoyed that. And then the second part of that question, my review of the book is it's a quick read, but it'll make you read it more than once. I love, like everybody on here pretty much said the same thing. We read it more than once. I read it again last week on a cruise, right? And so, but I love the book. I loved how you told your stories to go along with the ununitedness of the book. I love how you poured your own personal stories in. What I love the most, knowing that I knew most of the stuff, there's some things in there I didn't know though, that you have never said about you, and we'll talk about that at a later Zoom meeting. But that I didn't know, and Keita probably didn't know, and Lev probably didn't know, and Sheldon probably didn't know. Even though we were so close, we didn't know some of the suffering that I'm talking about that, but that's later. But I love how vulnerable you was in this book. That's what I love the most. I love how vulnerable you was, and how you started from this is the problem and here's how we fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the book itself, I absolutely learned some things in it to answer your first question. Actually, I took something from this book that I'm going to implement when we get back in school, which I'm really not looking forward to in about 3 weeks. One of those things you talked about the Pledge of Allegiance, and that's actually one of the lessons that we teach. So it's kind of like a tricky topic with me when I get to that lesson, and so I've taught it in the past. Saying, hey, here's who wrote it. Francis Scott Key, wrote the national anthem. Here is where he wrote it. Here's what was happening when he wrote it. Here's what, although you're seeing these words, here's what those words mean. And then lastly, here's what you're supposed to do when you hear the national anthem. Well, reading your passage about the third verse, which I kind of slightly knew about before, but didn't know, I never really looked deep into it until I read your book. That third verse is, that's a separator. That's something that just separates people. It took some slaves and basically said, hey, you try to leave if you want to. This is what you're gonna deal with. You're gonna have some terror that you're gonna have to deal with if you try to get away. And so I learned a lot from that. I learned when I go back and teach this lesson from now on, I'm not gonna teach it in a way where I'm saying, hey, you absolutely have to do this. You absolutely have to. Yeah, I'm always gonna respect it because of what we've gone through in uniform. But I'm not going to teach it in a way where I'm, if a kid doesn't want to, get up and, put his hand over his heart or whatever the case may be, I'm not tripping off of that anymore because of what it means. If you understand what I'm saying. So that was the first thing. As far as the book, just like Max said, there were some things that surprised me as far as some things that you've gone through. And I think we probably all have some of them, some stories that, the other, we just don't know about each other. We know a lot about each other. We've been through a lot together, but I think we all have some of those stories. And I'll be glad to get into a couple of mine on the next Zoom. But the book was, it was great, man. It was really great. I'll be the first to tell you, and it's going to sound crazy, but I'm really not a book reader. I read a lot, but I read a lot of doing politics and of course sports and of course, different things going on in the world. But to sit down and read a book, man, I can't tell you. That just ain't my thing. I try to do a lot of research on my own and figure things out that way. But I got into this book, like I really did. My daughter was having surgery, and I sat down, had some time in the waiting room. And I read that thing that day in one day. And like I said, went back and read it again. So absolutely great read. One more thing. You said something in the book about when you speak out about certain racial issues or political issues, people villainize you. People try to look at you a certain way. I applaud you for writing your book anyway, probably knowing that you're probably going to get some crazy looks from some people that know you or some people that you've known for a long time that didn't know you had
it's
this
happening already.
I already know
it. But it comes with the territory.
Yeah. But everybody wouldn't do that. Some people would have those thoughts and they keep them to themselves. So, the book was great because you put some things out there. You didn't hold your tongue. It's a good read, not just for us, but like I told you earlier, a couple of weeks ago, I really do want to implement some of this stuff when I get back in school, as far as I can. They got the whole thing of what you teach in school now. You got to go through about 50 different channels before something can get approved.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
But great read though, man. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, man.
So, hey, Tim, the clarity, man, that I got from it, like I told you before, it made me look at a lot of the things that I've been dealing with that I pretty much don't really talk about to where I don't want to talk about, hey, this is why I probably do what I do. This is why I'm saying, how I just, had those short fuse situations where I just snapped, be like, but then when I read the book, like I told you, man, when I read, I said, hold up. I said, man, yeah, he right. That's where you need to start talking about some of the things that you ain't really talk about no more. Just not keeping it to yourself because, that keeping it to yourself and keeping it bottled up is eventually that fuse is gonna pop. That because you don't put all that pressure on yourself and try to just keep it and deal with it inside of you. But when you did this, bro, this made him understand. Hey, look, you gotta you got to step out that normal comfort zone that you've been in. Just go ahead and articulate. People not going to like it. And I fall into that. I run into that category right now where I'm at, because, you know, we have to deal with the Hatch Act. You know what I mean? So, you know, certain stuff you can't talk about. But doing one of our training sessions for civility training, I'm asked the question. I'm saying, so you don't want us talking about anything political in the workspace, but every TV in here, when I'm standing at the elevator,
Fox
is
News.
on Fox News. I say, so I'm kind of trying to understand how you saying that we shouldn't be talking about it, but you got it on the TV, giving me subliminal messages to talk about it. That's what you're doing, but you don't want us to talk about it. But yet and still, you reminding me about what I can't say and I can't talk about it in the Hatch Act. But then I'm looking at these news excerpts all day long, and I'm looking at what the commander-in-chief, the predecessor one, you know, that dude doing, and you telling me we supposed to be by the Hatch Act. So it kind of brings you to think like, okay, I put that together and say, well, you telling me don't do this. But then I look at this guy that was he was in office, doing things that are ununited. Mel, I'm gonna use your title. It's definitely ununited, because when you look at what he's saying, spewing that divisive spewed rhetoric that he like to throw out there and saying that this is that. No, it's not, man. So when you look at it, you can relate everything from past to now in the present and what's going on within there. When you start looking at the Constitution, you start looking at everything that you start looking at the judicial branch, the legislative branch, and all the executive branch, and how it's being manipulated to give somebody some totalitarian or king like power where you're not held accountable for what you did. You know, because as we all know, we wouldn't be where we at. We wouldn't be saying we 20 years and 20 plus years served, because guess what? We wouldn't have been able to serve.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we wouldn't have been in that particular thing. So when I look at it and given and I kind of roll both of the courses into that one. But hey, like I told you, brother, hey, this is a read that I tell folk about. Hey, I even told old Fred Hull that he need to get the book too. And I keep saying it to him. And I'm gonna keep saying it till he say he got it. So
you tell Fred that me and him gonna have some words if he don't get that book.
I done walked in the office with the book too. I'll be in there like, hey man, and he be like, I said, yeah, this is what you need to read, brother, because you think it may not pertain to you, but it sheds some light on some of the stuff you may see, and then you believe it or not, it'll help you find a way to deal with what you're dealing with now. You know, even though you don't want to talk about it. You know, and I say some of the certain people that I serve with, that's the one thing that really kind of threw me, because when I read in here and I think about some of the people some of the cats I serve with that are now, man, they just, like I said, did a whole 360, and I look at them, I'm like, and I be wanting to unfriend them. And the missus like, no, don't unfriend them. You need to understand where they coming from. So when you see them again, you can come back with them with what they should have been saying, you know, and make them eat their words. So that's why I'm at with it, brother. I like I said again, I appreciate, you know, like I told you, it's certain parts in there that you didn't talk about, like Sheldon them said, and I them said that you didn't tell us about, but you know, and then here, and you know, because I was wondering, I'm like, but you know, we talked about that, brother. But like again, man, I definitely appreciate it, man. I definitely, and I'm gonna keep on pushing, telling folks they need to get it by any means necessary.
Right. That's right.
Well, hopefully I'll be in some of your cities soon. Like I said, if this thing take off like this, I know I'll be doing a lot of Georgia here in the immediate thing, a lot of Georgia and South Carolina, but I plan to come to DC and Virginia area and out west too, Ando. I might be coming to Cali, bro. You know,
Come on, baby.
I'm trying to get on the calendar. I'm trying to get on the calendar for New York City. My agent upstairs up there, you know, my agent, she working on that for me, dog. So
hey, wait, hey, you just figure out when your flight is. I know she's gonna lock that in.
yeah, she gonna lock it in. So she trying to get something in Times Square for me, book that up. So if I get that, then LA or San Francisco or near where you coming, I'll be next out there, dog. But go ahead, dog. And I got 5 takeaways that I'm gonna get y'all before we get up out of here. Some important stuff I can share with you. Go ahead, Ando.
Yeah, I think it provided great clarity on race relations, you know, here in our country. And you know, and I can answer, I can give the review too, in the same realm that my man Akita did. It was a short history lesson, but it was poignant because it was to the point, you know, without a whole book. Listen, I've taken African American history courses, and you took some very good points in history and lined it up step by step. And you did it, some of the points you did in like 1 or 2 paragraphs, right? This what happened this year, led to this how it relates. Again, I've had to read whole books, 3, 4, 5 chapters to try to make the points that you just pointed out. Bam, bam, bam. This will happen. This is what led to this. This is when this happened. So you did a great job in this book with providing clarity on race relations. Hey, this is where we were, you know, and then we went post-Reconstruction, and then this is what this
Jim
led
Crow,
to.
so on and so on. Yeah.
We went to Jim Crow, you know,
Yeah.
post-Reconstruction. So you had laws, but they were unwritten. So what can Black folks do about it? This was just how it was, and then we had to navigate this. Oh man, this led to the Civil Rights Movement. Oh, but Dr. King wasn't the only one that started, but bam, but he was a leader. I mean, you took it step by step, and you added, you know, a sense of humor. You know, you showed your sense of humor in it. You kept it serious but light enough for the reader to continue to pay attention, you know, to what was going on. And then you added, you know, some personal stories to it, and to make it real. So, look, dude, I enjoyed it. I think anybody can get something out of it. And Max, whoever that guy is that you're trying to show the book to, like, he'll pick it up and start to look at it one day.
Yeah, I'm
He'll pick it up
gonna
and
keep
start to look at
pushing.
it one day.
It's good, man. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yep.
So I got a few takeaways. First, y'all know me. Hey, look, comedy my first love. Y'all know that. So that's got to be at the forefront of anything I'm doing. Because if I can't make you laugh, then I can't talk to you. That's just what I do. That's one of my things. It's important to me to be able to do that. So you've already kind of had a preview, a sneak preview into my writing style. I never have anything more than 100 pages or something like that, because it don't take me all day to say what I got to say. You know, that's my style. That's my niche. So my next project, that's going to be my style. My signature thing will be like that. There'll be short, quick reads. That's very important because people want to be able to grab something while somebody having surgery, while somebody jump on a plane. That's the perfect time to grab this book, man. And bam. And I think that's what's going to be effective from a marketing perspective. One thing, let me share with y'all also too. This book has become part of Black history. My book is registered with the Library of Congress. I think I told Michelle that. I think I told y'all that. So yeah, it's registered with the Library of Congress. So I'm part of Black history now. It's there.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm saying? Forever.
That's
It'll
right.
never leave there. You know. So I did a book signing in the city of Morrow over here. Morrow is a town on the south side over here, not too far from where I live, McDonough. I met a lady there. She's a German lady. She have African American kids. She purchased my book. Coincidentally, she was on her way to Germany the following day to go home so her kids could see her grandparents, meet their grandparents, or see them, visit, whatever. So she bought the book, took it on the plane with her. When she got there, she inboxed me on Instagram and said, "Hey, look where I'm at." And she was standing in Greece. So she was in Germany, then she went to Greece, and she had my book in her hand. And she said, "I'm talking about this book to my folks, and I'm explaining it to them." So then, you know, we conversed a little bit, and she told me, she said, "You know what was most important about this?" She was like, "My kids were born in Germany. I was born in Germany, raised in Germany, but I have African-American kids. I got to teach them how to be Americans, you know, because they're not African-American. They're Black kids. They never lived in America. So they came to America." And she said, "This is very important that I teach and educate my kids," something along that lines. That book helped her out a lot, being able to try to let her kids know what to expect, because I told her being Black in other parts of the world is a lot different than being Black in America.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a lot different. You know what I'm
It-
saying? It's a lot different. So I was glad that was that, you know, the impact of that. And I think that the most telling part for me from the impact part, my brother, my oldest brother, we went for a period of about 15 or 20 years and we didn't even talk to each other, man. But we pretty tight now. I think the poem the poem, you know, at the end of the book kind of got him a little bit, you know, because he couldn't even finish the sentence when he was telling me about the poem, you know. And I don't know what made me write that at the end, but it was just like everything. I was writing this book and it was almost therapeutic. You know, it's stuff that I knew and I wanted to say, but it was therapy. It was stuff that I needed to speak about and talk about. You know, I shared this story with Keita, and I don't think I never told any of y'all about this story before. Prior to me joining the military, I had a similar incident that was like the one that I experienced in the book with the lieutenant, you know, and all that stuff there. I had a similar experience like that prior to me joining the military in college, to where I could have been in a bad situation, you know. Um, and I by the grace of God, I was not involved in that, and I'm glad that I didn't get caught up in that, you know. So I take everything in stride. Like I said, I love to have fun, but there's a serious side of me that's kind of emerging, that's kind of running parallel with who I am now, because I feel like I got a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And there's things that I know if I knew what I brought to the table in the military, I know that I could make things better in the military if we're given a chance. I may not change the world, but I might change Baylor Circle, the street that I live on. And if I change Baylor, then Baylor might change Jonesboro Road. And Jonesboro Road might change I-75. And 75 might, and so on and so on and so on. You see what I'm saying? It's not meant for one person to change the world. But but you gotta, you know, you gotta be able to share. I feel obligated in a sense, you know, to get out here and put some of this stuff out here, because people need to know exactly what's going on. You know, they need to know what's going on. So when I got ready, when I was talking to my publisher about this panel, man, I thought it was important to get you guys on here, because all of this knowledge on this screen right here, man, it's invaluable. It's invaluable. You know, we all got so many experiences and so many things that we can share with people, man. Like I said, I believe that we the secret weapon. We got some tactics. We got some cultural implementations that we could put in out there. We got some counseling. We got some spiritual stuff from that we can offer people, you know, and like we all right here, I call this right here, we got that general bald head reasoning, baby. You know,
I just know that everybody on here ball.
listen, let me tell you something. The wisest words you're gonna hear gonna come from a bald head, dog. It ain't nothing like bald head reasoning, dog. Ain't nothing like bald head reasoning. That's the best counseling you can get. Bald head reasoning. You
Everybody
know?
head shining.
See, I need to coin that right now. That's what I call it, bald head reasoning, you know?
Yeah.
So the next time you got to talk to somebody serious, you be like, man, you tripping, dog. Come on over here, sit down. Time for a little bald head reasoning, dog. I gotta tell you what, because you're getting out, you're getting out of bounds, bud. You know?
I'm using it this school year, dog. Using it this school year. Go on, let
Yeah,
you know
the
now.
bald head reasoning.
Hey,
I'm
go on,
gonna use
run
that
it.
at
Go on,
church.
run it. Go on, run it, dog. Yeah.
All right.
But look, I appreciate you guys, man. We definitely got to have a part two. Isaac have already told me, he done already put this on me that this podcast is coming. And I told him I don't know how it's gonna take shape, but we're gonna do something. We're gonna put our voices out there. So for you people out there that's watching this right now, look forward to talking with you guys, and hopefully at some point we can have a live thing to where you guys can interact with us as we talk about it. We'll try to set that up in the future. But for now, you know, you can follow any of us. You see our names. I'm on Facebook, Tim Harvey. I got an official Twitter page, Mr. T Harvey 247. I'm on Instagram, and all these guys' information on there as well. I encourage you, if you haven't already done it, go out and get Ununited. Again, it's available on Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Booktopia. Just Google Ununited by Timothy Harvey, and they will put you in the house.
Make it a
Okay.
birthday gift. Make it a Christmas
Make
gift.
the
We ain't
birthday
get two
gift
of them.
mine too. And like I said, got book signs coming up. I will be at Macy's in McDonough July 20th. Hopefully, if everything goes correctly, we'll see if we can get out and pull up in a city near you soon. And I'd like to see some of you guys out there, man. And we'll talk about some of this stuff that's going to be going on in this podcast. Hey, we may just make this an ongoing thing. What y'all say, fellas?
Let's do
Hey,
it.
let's do it.
Man,
Let's do it.
no. And we see y'all out there and hope to see y'all soon, man. Thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining us.
One love, bro. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.